Okay, what if I told you that all those shots you just saw were done using edelkrone products? Would you believe me? Well, it doesn't matter because it was. So this is gonna be a super fun video. So just sit back, grab your favorite beverage, maybe take some notes if you're feeling like it. Let's jump into it though. So we are putting together probably the worst thing you can put together on a shoot. This is a 20 by 20 diffusion, basically like an overhead diffusion. What it's gonna do is create a really soft light that hovers over the car itself and just kind of blanket it with this really nice diffused light. This is more or less like the base lighting setup for the car, and we'll build off of it. Oh my goodness. Man, you guys are lucky that you get to just watch this video and see the progression. All right, so we got the lighting set up. Took like 10 times longer than it was supposed to, but I think it looks really good. Let's talk about edelkrone though, because edelkrone, all their products work together seamlessly really well, and we're gonna use 3 different configurations using edelkrone products. So this one right here, this is the Slider Plus V5 Pro Long. If you put it on a countertop like this, I mean, it doesn't look like it would go very far. And it doesn't on a countertop, it's just like that. When you put it on a tripod, now it'll actually go double the length, which is really nice because that means it's easier to travel with. It's just like shorter rails, but you get twice the amount of movement. So definitely a huge plus compared to other sliders where you don't have to travel with these big, like 5-foot long rails. You can just put this in a backpack pretty easy. And if you want to, you can mount your camera right here and you can just slide it manually with your hand. Or edelkrone also has this one is called the Slide Module V3. So if we put this right here on the end, and once it's all hooked up, we can actually control everything right inside the app. You can set different starting points, ending points. You can have it do a nice continuous back and forth if you want to. Just tons of customization right inside the app. And honestly, that's only the tip of the iceberg because there's so many products that you can actually stack on top of one another from edelkrone. For example, the Head Plus V2. Now edelkrone is huge on motion control, and this thing is actually pretty crazy. I got my camera already mounted right here, so we're gonna go ahead and mount it. Just slide it on. We've also got the Focus Plus Pro mounted on here on this rail. Now we can wirelessly control the focus. They also have what's called the laser module, so you can just attach it down here. Has a nice magnet on it, plug it in here on the back. And what that's doing is it's actually measuring the distance between your whole setup, basically this entire rig, and whatever object that you want to track. So basically it'll pinpoint that stationary object using that laser so you can get some more accurate shots. Inside the app, we can go ahead and hit Smart Pairing, and it's actually gonna search for all of these products. And now you can see I have my slider. I can do that left and right, super easy. I also have my motion control right here with the Head Plus. I can go up and down, super smooth, really nice stuff. I also have my focus wheel right here, so I can set beginning and end points and also set my focus if I need to. There's just a lot of customization, and it's nice because, like I said, literally everything runs together here in one app. And with the Smart Pairing mode, it'll just bundle them together and you don't have to use different controls for different devices. It's all on one page. So now that we got this all set up, let's go ahead. We're gonna knock out all the shots that require this specific setup, and then we're gonna come back, move a couple things around, and get the rest of the shots. So we're doing a repeating movement where we show the car just as is, and it's gonna be panning from left to right. And then we're gonna do the same shot over again, but with Stefan, and he'll be getting into the car, and I'll stitch those together and we'll have kind of a glitch effect as he's like hopping into the car. So that's what sliders and motion control overall, that's where that really comes in clutch, because it's really hard to do that with a gimbal. You can do it, but you might have to add some extra shake, some extra blur basically to sell that effect. But on a slider, you can just do it organically and pretty quickly match up those two shots. Okay, and in 3, 2, 1, action. So we just took off the Head Plus V2. Some shots just really don't require like that fully automated motion. Sometimes you want it to be just a little bit more simple. So right here we have the Flex Tilt Head V3 from edelkrone. What we can do with this thing is just quickly put it on our slider, slide it on like that. And then with our camera mounted on top, we can actually adjust the positioning, the angle, the height. So when you're pushing manually with your hands, sometimes you can like change the speed as you're pushing along without realizing it. So it's not a super smooth pan on the slider. This module right here, this is called the steady module. If we just slide it right here, we can actually adjust the tension of the track right here. And then when we push it, we can actually control the speed quite a bit better and adjust it so it's not too tense, and just push it like so. So the steady module is super nice just to kind of eliminate any of those jitters, those speed variations that you might have when you're manually pushing on the slider. So we're going to start using that for the next several shots. Okay, yep, go for it. So right now we're just shooting at 60 frames per second. I just kind of want the option to slow it down. Normally you'd probably want to do 24, but I'm going to be speeding up and slowing down. I just want the ability to do that. So we're doing 60 frames per second, double shutter speed, ISO's at 160, aperture's at f1.8. And honestly, I'm really loving this Flex Tilt Head. The motion control head, the Head Plus, is actually really easy to use, but it is nice to actually switch over to the manual head. We can just spin this on real quick. We can set the angle, and then we can manually just quickly get the shots that we want. Don't have to overthink it, just better for run and gun. Man, sometimes you're setting up for a different shot and then you get one of those unexpected, like perfect shots while you're moving your camera, and you just have to take a second and grab it. So what I did on this tripod is actually loosened this head a little bit so I can actually rotate it pretty easily. It has a little bit of tension, but I can rotate it smoothly. So while I'm sliding, I can simultaneously be rotating that tripod and get somewhat of a tight orbiting movement. Okay, Steven, I just want you kind of looking mean and mad and upset. Ready, and 3, 2, 1, action. I love it. So a little pro hack if you're shooting cars, polarizers do come in super handy. So if we're looking at this windshield, that is without the polarizer. We can see the reflection of our diffusion up top. But if we add it on, we can actually get rid of most of it. So it actually makes a pretty big difference, especially in car stuff. So if you are shooting a car video, definitely grab one of these little guys. Okay, so edelkrone didn't have to do this, but they sent us their Dolly Plus. This is honestly a super sweet device. I can also operate this right inside the app. So if we slide it, look at that. Look at them go. That's pretty trippy. We also got our tripod that we're gonna set right on top. And we also have the Head Plus V2 on here, and the tripod dolly and the Head Plus work together just like the slider works with the Head Plus. So we can actually automate a movement where the slider moves on the floor and we can have the Head Plus moving simultaneously. So there's actually only one shot that we need to get with this setup, but let's knock it out real quick. Okay, and 3, 2, 1, action. Nice. Cut. All right, that's a wrap. All right, hopefully you guys enjoyed that video. Huge thanks to edelkrone for sponsoring this. If you want to check out literally any of the products that we used in this video, go ahead, hit the link in the description. Also, don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up. And as always, if you have any further questions, please let us know.